guys, Tech here for another video, and today we're going to be doing a follow-up to a video that I previously did where I essentially did a review of some of the best password managers that were available for mobile devices as well as your PC. And I went ahead and talked about some of the password managers I've used. I also talked about the one that I was previously using, which was the Zoho Vault. And some of the reasons that I was using that password manager, but since then I've actually found a new password manager that I wanted to talk about. This is just for my own personal use and testing, and I thought it was worth kind of discussing here. So this password manager is called SafeInCloud. It is very inexpensive. There's no subscription fees, and it does come with a desktop application that you can use. So here's just some screenshots, but I'm going to go in depth here in just a second. There are also some extensions that are available, but just so you can see kind of the pricing options here. Pricing options for an individual, you'll see how that kind of works here in just a second. But for an individual, it's about $4, and that's for a lifetime subscription. Whereas if you wanted to do a family version where you can share it with up to 5 different people, that costs about $8. So it's super inexpensive, and the feature set here is very close to what you get from the paid options that I've seen from a lot of other competitors that charge like yearly fees and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and dive in. I wanted to show you what this password manager looks like and why it's one of my favorite, actually my current favorite password manager available in the market. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Alright, so now I've got my phone screen pulled up here. I'm going to dive into the Play Store, and you can see that again there's 2 different options here. You go with this option if you wanted to purchase the family plan for $8, but if you want to use the personal use option, this one is actually free to download, and then once you download it and you install it, if you like it, you'll have an option in the app to be able to purchase a license for just a single user. Now once you log into the application here, you can see that you'll be in the main interface here where you're going to have all of your different cards that are stored. Cards are for everything from passwords for websites. You'll see some different options here when I click on add card. Credit cards, web accounts, you can do custom ones, logins and passwords, driving licenses, all that kind of stuff. Now again, if this is your first time using the application, you'll have the option through a banner at the top that will allow you to purchase a license for just one user. And at $4 for a lifetime license, I think it's super inexpensive. Now right away, a couple things that I did notice that I'll mention is I did notice that this is very similar to the app InPass, which is a little bit more expensive. It's upwards of $30-something. And I don't believe that's a one-time fee. I think there may be a one-time fee. Maybe it was $60. I don't exactly remember how much it was, but there's, I think, a one-time fee option, and there's also monthly and yearly subscription options. But it's definitely not $8 or $4 like this app. So some similar feature sets, but it's more expensive. So this app has pretty much all of those features, but it's much more expensive, and you know, this is definitely my favorite functionally as well app to use for password management, so at least for personal use. So going through a couple things here, I'll just go ahead and go into this test one that I was working with here. You can see that when you go into one of your logins that you have saved, you'll have kind of some basic information here. Usually it's your login, your password, your website, and the cool thing that you'll notice here, which I'll just jump back out of this and I'll go into a new one temporarily here. So if I pulled up a credit card here, let me just show you how you can add a new field. So if I wanted to add a website field here, just type that, click on OK, I'm going to put in google.com. And you can see it automatically finds the icon for that particular website that I'm using, which is really cool. So no matter what the website is, it typically finds that. And then also, if you put in the number for a credit card, for example, you can see here that it's going to actually space out the numbers for a credit card to make it easier for you to read that off. So it's got smart little features like that that for me just make it a really smart option to be able to store all of your passwords. Alright, going back into one of the test ones that I was working on here just to see some things. that you have available here. It does have compatibility with smartwatches, which is super cool. You have the option to set different labels for all of your different passwords. There's tons of different options. You can save this as a template if you want to create something custom. And again, it's very easy to create custom fields when you edit it using that icon in the bottom right. You simply just scroll down here and you click on add another field, and there's all these different options you have to choose from. So I could create like a new number, a login, website or email, or whatever I want. And it even has the ability, if you click on application and you click on OK, I can actually go in here and I can select an application from my list of applications, which is super cool because then it makes it automatically recognize that application when I launch it, so that it can fill in the passwords and credentials for specific applications. So that's super cool. A really nice, neat little feature. So tons of customization options here. You can attach images and files to any of these, and you can put in notes in there very easily. If you click on the wand icon here, you have autofill options. And the nice thing about this is that with all the custom fields here, you can go in, you can assign what you want that custom field to represent. So for example, if you went to a website and I wanted this random custom field here to be used as the username, I can designate that and it will understand to fill in the username field with whatever is in that particular field here, and so on and so forth. So you can customize all that, and you can choose whether or not you want it to automatically be usable for autofill or if you don't. So that's also a nice little perk and feature there. So lots of customization options available. You can share it, and the cool thing about sharing it is if you share it in an app like Telegram or a Messenger app, it actually just takes all the text for all these different fields and puts it in an easy kind of like readable format where you could just send it to someone and it would send them the username, password, website, everything just all in one block of text that's actually very readable in a messenger. No link or anything like that. It just straight sends them all of the information that you have here, minus of course if you have like images or something like that. So that's pretty cool as well. Makes it really easy to share credentials with someone who doesn't necessarily use the app. Now if you click on the menu icon in the top left hand corner here you can see some options to go in and look at all of your different data based off the labels that you have created. You can look at your templates, anything that's archived in your trash. Now you can see that I have mine connected to OneDrive, so I'm going to talk about that, which is something that I think is also super cool about this, is how it syncs your data. But again, you can kind of go in here and see all of your categorized information for all your different passwords. And then scrolling down, manage labels or settings. So when I go to settings, there's some pretty cool stuff in here. You can back up and restore your data or import and export, especially if you're coming from either another app. And it makes it very easy actually in the desktop app, which I'll show later on, how you can import your data if you use a different solution today. So that's also really nice, but you can easily import your data here as well if you want to do it through the mobile app, sync with your Android Wear devices, and preferences here. Not too much to look at. There is a dark theme available. You can customize things related to labels, set expirations on certain things. You can show what kinds of things it wants to show labels for. So if you wanted to tell you when a password is found to be weak and things like that, you can have that display. So you can customize all that good stuff. Customize your autofill settings, your lock information as well. You can have it automatically lock every time you leave the app or not, and how often it locks the app or doesn't. You can basically have it set to just require your thumbprint if that's easier for you on an occasional basis. You don't really have to be putting in your password all the time, which I think is really good. I get really frustrated with apps that keep prompting me for my password. I don't ever have to really do that here. I have mine customized, so I just have to put in my thumbprint. What I really like here with this app is the ability to sync with these different cloud devices or accounts. And you can see here that you have a few options. You can do it with Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. You can do it with a WebDAV configuration if you'd like. And you can have it auto sync. And this is the part that I like the most, is that I currently have it set to auto sync, so I don't have to go in and manually sync my data every time I create a new password. or I don't have to sync it every time I put in something elsewhere or anything of that nature. I do have it set to auto sync, so once I make an adjustment to something, I remove something, I add something, it does automatically sync it. And you can see here the last time it synced was 11:38, so it's been a little bit, a few minutes, but you can customize how often it syncs. And since I just leave this kind of running in the background, it usually just automatically syncs on a frequency. I haven't found that it affects battery life or anything like that, but you know, again, if you ever want to, you can kind of go out here back to your dashboard, and you can just click on the dots to the top right corner, and you can click on sync if you want to. And when you do that, it's going to go ahead and sync with whatever you're using. In my case, again, it's using OneDrive, so it's going to sync there. But it does automatically sync if you configure it that way, so that's pretty cool, I think. Clicking in the dots here again, you can lock the app at any time, generate a password, look at password history, and you can go back to your settings again. So that's really all there is to look at here in the settings of the app. Again, you can go to your favorites and recents anytime. You can search for specific passwords, and then you have easily accessible kind of ability to just favorite or star your different frequently used passwords and information that you want. And then if we look at something really quick where I would put in my credentials, I'll pull up an app really quick just to show you that. Alright, so here I have put.io, a service that I use for media storage. And if I wanted to log in here, so I've got the app open, if I go ahead and just navigate back to the app, you can see here that I can just basically tap in here, and it's going to give me the option to, I've already set it this way, so it understands that when I go in this app to use the credentials for put.io. So I just select this here, and it fills in my password. Super easy, right? But the nice thing here is that if I wanted to search and have it use a different credential, I can click on search, and I can find the credential that I want to use for this particular app, and I just select it and check it out. It now assigns that particular entry to this app, so it's not going to be looking at a bunch of different options. Now it's just this one. I can log in here, and you know, I don't have to worry about basically looking at a bunch of different credentials every time I'm using this app. So you can very easily manually assign your credentials that you want to use for any app. The same goes for any website that you're using. It's super easy to do, and the autofill is another thing I really like about this app. It's much more intuitive than things like LastPass and others that I've had a lot of problems with, actually. So for an app that's so inexpensive, I definitely had a really good experience with the autofill functionality there. Okay, so in the desktop app here, you can see the interface. Now again, I did mention that there is a Chrome extension available as well, so you can use this with Google Chrome to easily fill in credentials and things like that. But if you want to just use it as a standalone, especially if you have maybe a non-supported browser, if you check their website, it lists out all the supported ones. If you have a non-supported browser, whatever the reason might be, you can just use it as a standalone. Now this one, I believe you can customize the auto sync, but for me, I manually sync the desktop client, honestly, because I just don't make changes here as often as I do in the mobile app. So I usually sync it here, and if I make a change, add something in here, I usually just sync it back and forth. But I do have it tied to my OneDrive as well, so any changes that are made in the mobile app are going to sync back and forth here, and likewise from here back to the mobile app. So that's all nice and easy to use. I can go ahead and open up any of these credentials, and I can edit them the same way I would anything else. Alright, so when you go to edit something, it pulls up your information here, and you can make modifications to all the data in here. You can still add custom fields at any time, notes, images, and files, change your autofill. So all the different same kind of settings that you have in the mobile app are available here. And likewise with the options here, pretty much the same kind of options that you have in the mobile app. Main page here, you can see the sync settings, and you can of course select your method of syncing. So again, OneDrive is mine. You can see how often or how recently you've synced. Adjust your security settings. There is one premium feature. This is the only other sort of add-on I found. I don't even know what the cost of it is. It's probably a couple extra bucks. If you want to log in with Windows Hello, it is a premium feature that you have to purchase because you have to make a payment for the desktop app portion. And that's, I think, literally the only like real difference in paying for the desktop version is to be able to log in with Windows Hello. So there is a few dollar payment option there available if you want to unlock all of the features of the desktop app, but I think that's pretty much it. All of the rest of the features of the desktop app are mostly open, and I haven't found any other limitations. So all the other settings in here are more or less available. It's just that one login thing that it kind of unlocks there. So again, this is the desktop interface for the application. It's super easy to use. It's multi-platform. I think they have Linux capability as well. But this is the reason that I picked this as my favorite password manager. I've exported everything from Zoho Vault. I used to use LastPass at one point. I've used Bitwarden. I've used pretty much every password manager at some point. And this is the one that I went with for, again, my primary reasons here was the cost factor. It's very inexpensive, and I like that. I like that they're giving away these kinds of features for that cost, and it's just a single developer. If you look at the reviews for the Play Store, you'll find that they all come from the original developer of the app, so he's kind of supporting this himself. But the nice thing here is, again, this is not based off a website or anything, so you know, there's not like a web server or something that's going to crash or go down that's going to lose all your data, because the thing that keeps this safe and keeps it kind of protected for you is the fact that all of your data is completely local. None of this is in the cloud hosted by you know, the company that creates this password manager. The only place that the data actually exists is if you sync it with OneDrive or Google Drive or one of these different services. And then, just like some of the other services that are out there that choose to do it that way, as opposed to having it stored just in plain text out in the cloud, because I'm doing it this way, because I'm syncing it, it's syncing an encrypted file. And so if someone was to go in and a hacker, for example, got into your OneDrive account, they could retrieve the file that contains all this data that's syncing to the app. But the problem is that file locally is password protected. So that means that even if someone got into the cloud location where your data is stored, they wouldn't be able to do anything without the password, versus something like LastPass. If someone does a breach, they could potentially get into your account and they could see all your passwords and your data because it's just out there. Even with multi-factor authentication, there's a way, ways or a way around that potentially. This is much more difficult to kind of hack and brute force your way in to actually get those credentials, because they're being synced with an encrypted file. So it's similar to KeePass, but I like that. You know, this is good from a security perspective. It's very inexpensive, and the interface is very good. Guys, that's really all I wanted to show you with this particular app. I hope it was helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Okay guys, before I go, some of you guys might know that I do not have a sponsor for my videos. I do, however, like to promote content and products that are going to be, helpful for viewers. And one of the products that I've had a lot of people kind of complimenting me on, one of the videos that I recently did, was where I covered a webcam, a budget webcam. And this is a really good time, I think, to talk about something like this, because obviously a lot of people are switching to remote work. So while I don't have a sponsor for this video, I am an Amazon affiliate, and so it definitely helps me if you guys are interested in a product that you could definitely benefit from, that's very inexpensive, that could be useful for you. Check out my video review of this webcam. It's called the Releno 1080p webcam. I did a video comparing 4 different webcams, and I just thought I would promote that here. So for anyone that is interested in a new webcam, if you have not seen my video on that, it's a really great option. It's a really great product. I did a review against 3 other webcams, and this one had the best picture quality. It had the best, really everything kind of was a step or 2 above all the other budget options that I had tried, and the prices come down significantly. It was, I think, like $40 when I got mine, or close to that, and it's now only $30, especially in a market where the Logitech webcams that are available out there, tend to range in the upwards of $80 territory, if not higher, because of inflation with the demand right now. So just want to take the time here to mention this to you guys. If you're interested, I'll have the link in the description for this particular product. So definitely please check that out. Or if you'd like to watch my video review as well of this particular webcam, that will be linked in the description as well as other different ways you can support the channel and different content that you might be interested in. But for this video, guys, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And other than that, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.